Mykonos, being a Greek island, has natural adventure and attraction just because it's a warm island in the Mediterranean. However, it actually has two functions. On the other side of the island is a plain, and they grow wheat and other types of grains. And the original aspect of the windmills of Mykonos were to grind the grain. So that was his first feature, was to be agricultural and to provide flour and so forth. The second thing was, in the 1950s, early 60s, this was the jet set capital of the world. There is a small airport here, people could fly in, or it's a 6-hour ferry from Piraeus, which is the port for Athens, to come by boat. So we're going to start our adventure here from where we got off of our tender to explore the magnificent little streets of Mykonos. Now that we've had a little walk from where we got off of the tender around to the main part of the city, we're going to stop in this little bar and this little sandwich shop and have a cold beer to refresh ourselves before we continue on to the windmills. So we're rapidly making our way through Mykonos. Well, I'm here at the pier, and in 1974, my wife and I came here. We left the port of Piraeus in Athens, and took 6 hours on this big ferry full of people to come to Mykonos. And as we got off of this pier, it's right here, we walked this way, and this little building behind me that's white was the chief of police. And all of us that needed bed and breakfast type of rooms congregated right at that door. And he came out and he said, welcome to Mykonos, and who are you looking for bed and breakfast? My wife and I said, we're looking for Maria because we've been given that name by a friend of ours. Well, there are probably 40 Marias standing there, so we never got the right Maria. But she had a beautiful place, and it was close by the windmills and a number of really good restaurants. But everybody that came onto this island had to go by the chief of police. He's no longer here. Things have changed, as they expect them to. So now it's a tourist information selling tickets to the other parts of the island by boat. But it just brings back such great memories to be at this particular spot, in 2022. More to come. I'm looking for a shirt like this that's so thin and so comfortable in a warmer climate. And this says it's 2X, but I don't know if that's 2X US or 2X Europe.
US.
2X Europe. Oh, US. All right. And what would this cost?
It's 40 euros. The price is in front.
40.
Or $40.
We're up here now where the windmills are, and this is as close as we're going to get. You'll see that the windmills don't really look like they're functional anymore because they actually had sails on the wood ribs that they would unfurl to make it grind the grain. So they've got other means now for doing that. So the windmills are here just primarily as a landmark. But this is one of the things that makes Mykonos so unique. All of these white buildings, the little narrow stairways, all the little shops off of these streets. It's just a magical place in the Mediterranean. So here we are at the windmills. With the windmills in my background and looking over the harbor, you see the Royal Caribbean ship and MSC, and there's a Costa on the other side. But right down below this hill is a restaurant that my wife and I frequented when we came here the first time in 1974. So our bed and breakfast, although I can't locate it, was somewhere very nearby this spot, because that was the breakfast place for us. Of course, now it's double the size because they've added a portico to go over the main part of the restaurant so more people can be seated, which you would expect. But if you look over my shoulders and you see all those little white buildings, there was hardly any of that here. So the population of Mykonos has really, really grown. And it's along the extended part of the island, so there are people here everywhere. We stopped earlier for a little beer to kind of get our bearings, and I couldn't believe how many people were going up and down the sidewalk in front of the Sidewalk Cafe. And it's because all these ships are coming in here, which the ships were not allowed to come in here before. Before, if you wanted to come, you came by air or you came by ferry. Now with the ships here, 5 ships, there's just overrun with people. So as lovely as it is, not the same as what it was before. Well, I can't believe it. I have found the bed and breakfast that we stayed in 1974, my wife and I. I knew it was close to that restaurant that we walked by earlier, but this is it. This is Maria's, one of many Maria's, but this is Maria's bed and breakfast. And we stayed a week in this bed and breakfast, and I remember it because it had the trees and sort of in this little area, and then her apartment was right behind it. And I remember the steps going up, and we had the top apartment up there, the two of us. And so it was a perfect location for Mykonos. Had a great time here. It brings back such sweet memories.